Skills, or talents as they're called in Hogwarts Legacy, are really important for boosting your abilities, especially in combat. And as you may have noticed, it's not possible to reassign a talent point once you've used it, so it's very important to choose your talents wisely. So I want to give you a few different talent builds that work well for different playstyles. Whether you're combat focused and want the most powerful build, or you're more of an explorer looking to get through combat encounters easily, I've got the best set of talents for you. First though, let's quickly review how talents work. There's a total of 48 talents in the game, spread across 5 categories. Each talent costs 1 point, and you'll get 1 point each time you level up, starting with level 5. So you'll be able to get a total of 36 points once you've reached the maximum level of 40. But you can't start using talents until you complete the Jackdaw's Rest main quest, which is about 5 to 10 hours into the game, depending on how much exploring you do. And don't worry, even if you level up a bunch before you get to the Jackdaw quest, you'll get all your talent points retroactively. Now, even though tiers of talents unlock at different levels, you don't need the lower level ones to get the higher ones. If you have the required level, you can go straight to a level 22 talent if you want, and in some cases we will want to skip lower level talents. Now, it's also worth noting that it's impossible to get the maximum level of 40 before finishing the main story. Avalanche left no wiggle room here. You have to finish literally everything in your field guide to get max level, so it's not worth trying to do it early. In fact, you probably won't be much higher than level 30 or so by the time you get to the end of the main story, unless you're really focused on doing every bit of side content first. There's no way to grind XP in Hogwarts Legacy. There's a lot of articles and videos out there saying you can grind XP in the battle arenas, but that's only true because beating enemies in the arenas counts towards your combat challenges. The arenas themselves don't give any XP. And exclusive content like the Dark Arts Battle Arena DLC and the Minding Your Own Business PlayStation exclusive quests don't give any XP either. The only way to get XP is by completing field guide challenges, which includes quests and lots of other things you'll end up doing naturally. That being said, if you make sure to grab field guide pages around Hogwarts and Hogsmeade for easy XP and do a healthy amount of side content as you play, you can get to level 30 or so pretty easily, which will give you plenty of talent points to go into the endgame with a powerful build. Still, you can't reassign talent points once you've spent them, so we need to choose our talents carefully. So, there are about a dozen talents I recommend you get first regardless of your playstyle. The first 3 should be Spell Knowledge 1 and 2 and Basic Cast Mastery. The Spell Knowledge skills will unlock your second and third spell sets, which you'll definitely want because swapping spells around on just 1 or 2 spell sets gets pretty annoying. Basic Cast Mastery will help recharge your more powerful slottable spells while they're on cooldown, which is really helpful throughout the entire game. Next, I recommend getting PlaystyleS Absorption, which will charge up your ancient magic meter each time you successfully block an orange halo attack with PlaystyleS, which you'll want to be using a lot anyway. Ancient magic throw expertise is especially helpful early on when your damage output isn't very high, as it allows you to use the ancient magic throw to hit enemies for a lot of damage with their own weapons after disarming them with Expelliarmus. And Wiggenweld Potency 1, which will significantly boost the healing power of your Wiggenweld potions. I'll also mention that there's no advantage to waiting to grab Wiggenweld Potency 2 instead of 1 because they each give you the same boost when you have either one. Up next, grab Spell Knowledge 3 to get your 4th and final spell set, Swift, which allows you to hold down your dodge button to teleport around really fast with a cool apparition animation, and Evasion Absorption, which will help charge your ancient magic meter by simply dodging unblockable red halo attacks. And the final 3 I recommend for everyone are Stupefy Mastery and Stupefy Expertise, which enhance the Stupefy counter curse by keeping enemies stunned longer and causing the spell to deal direct damage, and Stunning Curse on the Dark Arts card, which applies the curse state when using Stupefy. Enemies that are cursed, indicated by a green X, will take an additional 5% damage, which can be further boosted quite significantly by the Unforgivable trait. If you're not a combat-focused player, then instead of those last 3 I mentioned, I'd recommend you grab Sense of Secrecy 1 and 2 in the Stealth tree, which will make it easier to sneak around with the Disillusionment charm and take out enemies with Petrificus Totalis, and Edurus Potion Potency, which enhances the Edurus Potion to make you invincible for 20 seconds and deflects enemy spells back at them, so they'll virtually kill themselves. Also, if you're not sure about some of these combat terms I'm throwing around, like Ancient Magic Throws, Stupefy Counter Curses, and Spell cooldowns, then you'll want to check out my Essential Combat Guide video linked below. Okay, so after you've got those essential talents, your choices will become much more dependent on your playstyle. At this point, you'll be level 20 or so, and I actually recommend you stop spending talent points for a while so you can figure out how you like to play. Also, keep in mind if you want to try out a talent without without fully committing to it yet, you can make a manual save of your game, then unlock the talents and play around with them for a bit, and then if you don't like them, you can load up that manual save to go back to before you spent the talent points. By the way guys, if you're finding these tips helpful, leaving a like on the video would be much appreciated as it really does go a long way in helping me out. Alright, let's dive into our first build with one I know a lot of people are already running. You may have noticed that the 36 total points work out perfectly to grab all the talents in the spells, dark arts, and core cards, which is certainly a solid combat focused build. But I would argue it's not optimized, since there are a few unnecessary talents in these cards. In the core card, I really don't think anyone looking to get good at combat needs both Wiggenweld potency talents. With just one of them, you'll be able to heal almost the entire max level health bar with just one potion, so having both is a bit overkill. I also feel Revelio Mastery is unnecessary because it simply extends the range of Revelio. That's nice for exploration purposes, but the default range is plenty, and you can also get extended range for free by simply hopping on your broom. In the spell card, there's almost definitely at least one or two spells you're pretty much never going to use, so boosting all spells could be a waste of a few points. I actually made the mistake of getting Levioso Mastery before I realized I don't really like using Levioso in combat. This is why it's important to slow down on getting talents after you've gotten the essentials. So figure out which spells you don't like using and save yourself those points. I also made this mistake in the Dark Arts card, where I thought I'd like having Enduring Curse, which extends the curse state to last 40 seconds, but I later realized the default 20 seconds is plenty. The rest of the Dark Arts card is quite useful in combat, but I would recommend skipping Enduring Curse. So for a more optimized combat build, we have an extra 3 to 4 talent points to spend in the Stealth and Room of Requirement cards. 2 of those points should definitely go to Maxima and Focus Potion Potency, which let you hit incredibly high damage combos with Maxima potions and recharge your slottable spells really quickly by consuming Focus Potions. If I hadn't made the mistake of getting those Levioso and Enduring Curse talents, I'd personally spend one of those 2 points on Invisibility Potion Potency because it's actually pretty fun to pop an Invisibility Potion in the heat of combat and pull off a quick instant kill with Petrificus Totalis. You can do this without the talent, but the default duration of 6 seconds for Invisibility Potions is really short. The talent doubles this to 12 seconds, which is much more usable. I'd spend the other point on Fertilizer since the Chinese chomping cabbages can be pretty fun to play with, especially since it appears the Herbology trait, which boosts all plant damage, is currently bugged and causes them to deal an insane amount of damage. Or you could also use one of the extra points for the Edurus Potion talent, as it's pretty fun to have that invincibility and watch enemy spells rebound on them. The Headache talent, which boosts the duration and damage of mandrakes, is also pretty fun, so I would consider that one too. I know some players want to totally avoid using the Dark Arts, and if that's you, then the talent recommendation is pretty simple. You'll have enough talent points to get almost every other talent on all the cards, and I would recommend prioritizing my earlier Stealth and Room of Requirement card recommendations first. You'll be 2 points short of getting everything though, so I would skip Noxious, which boosts the damage of Venomous Tentacula and allows them to break enemy shields. This sounds good on paper, but in practice their fire rate is just so slow that they aren't very useful. I would also still skip either Revelio Mastery or Wiggenweld Potency 2. I also know some players are much more interested in exploration and just want to get through combat as simply and quickly as possible, or you might just be really into the stealth playstyle. If that's you, then after getting the first 9 essential talents we covered earlier, the next 3 you should go for are Revelio Mastery to aid in your exploration, and both Sense of Secrecy talents to make you more invisible while using the Disillusionment Charm. After that, go for the Edurus Potion Potency so you can be invincible, Wiggenweld Potency 2 to maximize your ability to heal, and Invisibility Potion Potency so you can use invisibility potions for the longer duration of 12 seconds. Also remember, invisibility potions make you totally invisible while the Disillusionment Charm is only mostly invisible. You'll also want the Fertilizer talent so you can get an extra Chinese chomping cabbage for free each time you use them, Headache so you can stun enemies more effectively with mandrakes, and Thunderbrew Potion Potency, which enhances the lightning storm this potion creates that follows you around zapping enemies for you. Finally, you'll want Petrificus Totalis Mastery, which lets you cast the spell on multiple enemies at once if they're close together, and 4 or 5 talents from the spells card for the spells you find yourself using the most. Though I definitely recommend everybody gets Transformation Mastery so you can turn weaker enemies into explosive barrels you can throw. You'll still have some points left over after this, so you can finish filling out the core, stealth, and Room of Requirement cards, and pick what appeals to you most from the Dark Arts card and any remaining talents you like on the spells card. Finally, I'll give you one last look at my talent build where I'm clearly combat focused. If I could reassign points, I would use the 2 points I regret spending on Levioso Mastery and Enduring Curse on Invisibility Potion Potency and either the Fertilizer or Edurus Potion Potency talents in the Room of Requirement card. Hopefully we'll get the ability to reassign talent points in a future update. In the meantime, I keep a manual save where I have some talent points unassigned so I can play around with the ones I don't typically use. If you guys enjoyed this video or learned something new, leaving a like would be much appreciated. And if you want to learn how to leverage talents and other mechanics in combat, then you should definitely watch this video where I cover all the essential tips you need to begin mastering combat in Hogwarts Legacy. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.